Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. I'm here at Motorcycle Live 2022 and I'm here at the CCM stand. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos on the channel, you might have noticed that the CCM Spitfire 6 that I bought here last year was delivered in the summer, and I've already done a couple of videos on it. So if you don't know CCM, they're a UK-based manufacturer up in Bolton. They use a 600cc single and they make it into a number of different bikes. Now, some of them you would have seen on the video last year, but they do have a few new things this year. So I'm going to show you a look around the whole stand, but then also in particular show you a couple of the new bikes that are in here. So to start off, we're going to look at this fine machine called the Spitfire 6. That looks slightly familiar. That's because I've got one, although not in this rather nice looking red. But nevertheless, I've had it for a while. I think I've done a few hundred miles in it so far, mainly around the Peak District, and I'm really enjoying it. I'd seen them at shows for quite a lot, and always wondered a little bit if they just looked good but didn't ride that well. So yeah, I did take a bit of a punt when I bought mine, but I'm delighted to say that so far I'm very pleased with it. Slightly different take on their bike is this street moto. So this has got slightly smaller sort of street focused wheels instead of the flat tracker wheels. It's got that seat with a bit of a cowl at the back that extends up and above instead of just the single seat that I have on my 6. And this one's got pretty much flat bars, but yeah, again, covered with carbon fiber. A lot of these bits and pieces are options that you can add. And other than that front wheel, the front end looks kind of similar to what I have on mine. And this one also has the Olin suspension fitted as an option for the rear. And here we have another version of it, this time in yellow. So this has got that same high rear seat. This one's actually got a high front mudguard, which looks slightly different to the other one. Other than that, you know, it is platform engineering. They do take the engine they have and the base frame, and then on top of that, they basically add different subframes, different bodywork, different fuel tanks, just to give the bikes a different look and feel. So this is one of the new bikes they've got here. So I've not seen anything quite like this before. So this has actually got a double seat with pillion pegs. It's got this rather nice luggage. I think that orange and white, orange and cream paintwork looks a little bit like the Harley-Davidson racing colours, dare I say it. But actually, if you just look at how all that's been finished with those Marzocchi forks in kind of a silver instead of the bronze. And to come up and look over the top, we've got this nice leather tank bag that's fixed to that fuel tank strap. That double seat, which is really finished quite nicely in leather there. And then at the back, a couple of small bags. I mean, I don't think you'll be crossing continents on it. But to have that plus a little roll bag maybe for tools, all looks pretty good. Another version of this which looks kind of similar to the 6 that I have with that single seat, but this one has a almost complete rear mudguard is the Spitfire bobber, and I've got it here with those alloy rims that are polished up, just a lot of polished silver all over it. And another variant of it, there again another bobber with that mudguard on the back end. We have one more here that has that double seat, this time done in black, not like the orange one you can just see there behind it. But yeah, you know what? If you wanted to have one bike and you actually just fancied one of these just for playing around on, but you did want to you know, maybe do weekends away, something like that, I think what they've done there, particularly with that pillion seat, and actually you can put some luggage on it, because I know on mine that really there isn't anywhere to put anything. I think the tank bag is about as close as you'd get. One other thing I've noticed on here actually is that's got slightly higher bars. So on mine the bars are almost flat, but I think certainly by having these more upright bars give you a slightly different riding position. Looks almost more cruising. I see that these are actually prototypes, and I say that because the little plaque that normally says which model it is definitely says prototype on here. So just a couple more. So this one here is the classic tracker again. Different design with the exhaust pipes that are on there. It's got that high seat. I think that looks kind of cool. Again, carbon fiber all over it. Lots of nice little design features and touches across the bike. And then the last two, which I really like the look of, is the Maverick. So these are kind of more of a scrambler sort of style with that high front mudguard. It's got that high level rear exhaust. This one done in that metallic green, you know, with that long seat and those gold rims. Actually, I think looks pretty good. It's actually got a fairly practical back end as well. I'm sure that my back's going to get covered with mud whenever I go out. But looking at how that's been set up with that seat and then that lovely green paint job over the tank, just goes really, really nicely with those gold wheels. I mean, I think that is definitely quite a striking motorcycle. And here we've got one more Maverick, this time done in it's kind of like almost like a speckly, like sort of black, sparkly black, but again covered with carbon fiber, everything including over those exhaust pipes, the engine cover, the rear brake, cylinder cover, and again on the heat shield for the exhaust. Let's give you a quick look up and round. This one is quite practical with at least one bag on the side, you know, as a commuter or something. You can't have one on the other side because of the exhaust, but you know, with the tank bag you get a bit more space as well. I know they're never going to be the most practical of bikes, but I think that's a pretty good looking motorcycle. The last few things I'm going to show you on the stand are a few concepts. So this one is the Crossfire concept. So this is based on the bike that you can just see off there to the right, which I'll walk past in a moment. So yeah, this one's a twin shock, unlike the other bikes they do, so I think that might be a slightly different frame, possibly. But yeah, it looks like it's got a much bigger tank, definitely got those big Öhlins forks on it, which have lifted up the front end a lot, and from the front it's got that sort of retro Dakar bike look about it. And I suspect some of the inspiration of that has come from this Work 650 Dakar bike from 1998. I mean, I think that's certainly been through the mill. I'd like to think there's probably not a lot from this bike that's still made it onto the current ones, but you can certainly see what a Dakar bike looked like 24 years ago. It's nice to see old school GPS in there as well. And last but by no means least is the Heritage 71. So this was a concept bike here at the show last year. Looks pretty similar to several of the other models, except this was done as a one-off, I think, with a titanium frame. It does reduce the weight, it does increase the cost significantly, but you know what, it's got the double brakes at the front, it's got the Öhlins fork, it's got a black rear Öhlins shock, so I think it's basically got everything on it, but the price does go up quite a lot. If you're in the UK and you happen to watch Henry Cole on the motorbike show, you might have seen this bike being ridden around the Peak District just up the road from where I am. And yeah, it does look remarkable. Honestly, I don't think it's that different to mine. It's got the same geometry. If you want the best of the best with a titanium frame, then yeah, there's certainly been a market for it because enough people have wanted them, they've actually put it into production. So there you have it, that's my very quick look around the CCM stand here at Motorcycle Live 2022. A few new things on here, those concept tourers look kind of interesting, and also that Dakar bike, and also just to have a general look at the models they have up for sale. You know, if you want something covered with carbon fibre and lots of customizable options, well, that's what they're here for. So I hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content here from Motorcycle Live, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.